Marcus Webb was tired. His feet hurt, his back ached, and his wallet was almost empty. He walked through the crowded halls of Kepler 7 trading station, looking at all the shops and stalls. Rich alien merchants sold expensive items behind glass windows. Marcus could only look and dream. He was not rich. He was not successful. Marcus was just a human trying to survive. Marcus owned a small antique shop in the poor section of the station. Most days, nobody came to buy anything. He sold old items, broken gadgets, and forgotten things. Sometimes he made enough money to eat. Sometimes he did not. Today, Marcus heard about an estate sale. A Vrexian merchant had died, and his family was selling everything. Estate sales were Marcus's only chance to find items he could afford. Rich collectors took all the valuable pieces first. Marcus arrived late, hoping to find something, anything, left behind. The sale was in a warehouse on level 12. When Marcus arrived, most aliens were already leaving. They carried boxes of shiny treasures and ancient artifacts. Marcus's heart sank. He was too late again. Inside the warehouse, only junk remained. Broken furniture, cracked dishes, piles of electronic waste that nobody wanted. A tall Vrexian with blue skin stood near the door, looking bored. "You are very late, human," the Vrexian said. "Everything good is sold?" Marcus nodded. "I know. Can I still look?" The Vrexian waved his hand. "Look if you want. Everything left is trash. 5 credits per box. Take what you want and go. I am closing soon." Marcus walked through the warehouse. Everything looked worthless. Old data pads with dead screens, corroded metal pieces. Cables that led to nothing. He was ready to leave when he saw a small box in the corner. The box was made of cheap plastic. Inside were pieces of broken electronics covered in dust and dirt. Most pieces were truly garbage, but something caught Marcus's eye. At the bottom of the box, under all the junk, was a small cube. It was the size of Marcus's fist. The cube was made of a strange crystal material. It was dirty and covered in symbols Marcus did not recognize. The symbols looked old. Very old. Marcus picked up the cube. It was heavier than it looked. The crystal was dark, but when he turned it, he saw tiny lights deep inside, like stars frozen in ice. "What is this?" Marcus asked, holding up the cube. The Vrexian barely looked. "Broken human trash. From the old war maybe 300 years ago. 400? I do not know. It does not work. It does nothing." "Human-made?" Marcus felt curious. Humans were rare in this part of space. Finding old human items was even more rare. "That is what my uncle said. He bought a cargo container of war junk many years ago. That cube was inside. Completely useless." The Vrexian seemed annoyed. "You want it? Take the whole box. 8 credits. Marcus had exactly 12 credits in his account. 8 credits for a box of junk was too much. But something about the cube interested him. Maybe it was worth something. Maybe it was truly worthless. But Marcus had to know. "Okay, 8 credits, Marcus said. The Vrexian processed the payment quickly. He seemed happy to get rid of the last box. Marcus carried his purchase to his small shop 3 levels down. His shop was called Webb's Antiquities, though that name sounded much better than reality. The shop was one room with dusty shelves and a broken air filter. Marcus put the box on his work table. He threw away the real garbage, broken circuits, dead wires, cracked screens. Only the cube remained. He filled a bowl with water and cleaning solution. Carefully, Marcus began cleaning the cube. Dirt came off slowly. The symbols became clearer. They were not any language Marcus knew. They looked human, but ancient. Pre-expansion era, maybe. Before humans joined the galactic community. Marcus cleaned for an hour. The cube began to shine. The crystal was beautiful, dark blue with silver streaks running through it. The symbols glowed faintly when light hit them at certain angles. "What are you?" Marcus whispered. He turned the cube in his hands, studying every side. 6 sides, each covered in different symbols. On one side, the symbols formed a pattern that looked almost like a handprint. Without thinking, Marcus pressed his hand against that side. His fingers matched the pattern perfectly. The cube exploded with light. Marcus jumped back, his heart racing. The cube floated into the air above his table. Bright blue light shot from all sides. The light formed shapes, patterns, and then a figure. A person made of light stood in Marcus's shop. The figure was tall and wore what looked like an ancient military uniform. The face was hard to see clearly, like looking at someone through water. But Marcus could tell the figure was human, or had been human once. "Guardian system activated," the figure said. The voice sounded strange, like many voices speaking together. "Biometric scan complete. Species human. DNA markers confirmed. Authorization accepted." Marcus could not speak. He stared at the glowing figure with his mouth open. The figure turned to look at Marcus. Even though the face was unclear, Marcus felt like the figure was shocked. You are human?" the figure asked. The many voices in one sounded confused. "Humans still exist?" "Yes," Marcus finally managed to say. "I'm human." What are you?" "I am Keeper 79, Guardian of the Dreadnought Eternal Resolve, last of the pre-expansion defense fleet." The figure stood straighter like a soldier reporting for duty. "I have waited 873 years for a human to activate this command key." 800! Marcus felt dizzy. "That's impossible." "I assure you, it is not." The Guardian looked around Marcus's small shop. "Where is the fleet? Where is command? Why did it take so long for retrieval?" "I don't know what you're talking about," Marcus said. I bought that cube at an estate sale for 8 credits." The Guardian stared at Marcus for a long moment. Then the figure flickered like a broken hologram. "This is very wrong," the Guardian said quietly. "The beacon is now active. They will detect it. They will come." "Who will come?" Marcus asked. "Everyone," the Guardian said. "Every faction that fears what humanity built. Every treasure hunter seeking pre-expansion technology. Every military power that remembers the war." The figure looked directly at Marcus. "You have perhaps 6 hours before they arrive. Possibly less." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "What did I just do?" "You activated a direct link to the most powerful warship humanity ever created," the Guardian said. "And now, Marcus Webb, every eye in this sector is turning toward you." The cube pulsed with light, like a heartbeat. Outside Marcus's shop, alarms began to ring. The alarms got louder. Marcus heard footsteps running in the hallway outside his shop. Voices shouted in different alien languages. Something was very wrong. "What is happening?" Marcus asked the Guardian. The glowing figure moved closer. "The command key sends a signal when activated. Every military scanner within 50 light years can detect it. They know pre-expansion human technology is here." Marcus locked his shop door. His hands shook. "You need to explain everything, right now. What is the Eternal Resolve? What is pre-expansion? Why does everyone care about an old ship?" The Guardian's form became more solid, more clear. Marcus could now see the face, a stern man with tired eyes. This had been a real person once. "Sit down, Marcus Webb," the Guardian said. "You need to understand your own history." Marcus sat. His legs felt weak. 800 years ago, humanity was new to space, the Guardian began. Humans had just developed faster than light travel. Your people were excited, hopeful. They wanted to explore and meet other species. "What happened?" Marcus asked, though he feared the answer. "The Combine Dominion happened." The Guardian's voice became hard. "They were an alliance of 12 species. They ruled this sector of space. When humans arrived, the Combine saw competition. They saw a threat. So they decided to eliminate humanity before humans became strong. Marcus felt cold. He knew some of this history, but not many details. Human history books did not talk much about the old times. The Combine attacked Earth and all human colonies, the Guardian continued. Billions died in the first year. Humans were not prepared for war. You had exploration ships, not warships. The Combine had weapons humanity could not imagine. But humans survived, Marcus said quietly. Yes, because humans did something the Combine did not expect. The Guardian smiled, a sad, proud smile. Humans adapted. Your people learned faster than any species the Combine had ever fought. Human engineers studied captured Combine technology and made it better. Human tacticians created new strategies, and human determination. That was something special. The Guardian waved his hand. Images appeared in the air. Holographic pictures of enormous ships. They were beautiful and terrifying. Each ship was kilometers long, covered in armor and weapons. Humanity built the pre-expansion defense fleet, the Guardian said. 12 dreadnought-class warships. Each one was a city in space, carrying thousands of crew and enough firepower to destroy planets. The Eternal Resolve was the last ship built and the most advanced. Marcus stared at the holographic ships. What happened to them? The war ended. Humanity and the Combine fought for 70 years. Neither side could win. Too many had died. So they made peace, a cold peace, full of anger and fear. The Guardian's image flickered. The Combine Dominion broke apart after the war. The 12 species went their own ways. Humanity was exhausted and broken. Your population had dropped from 30 billion to 3 billion. And the ships? Marcus asked. Humanity was afraid, the Guardian said. Afraid of what they had become. Afraid of their own weapons. So they made a choice. They decommissioned the entire fleet. 11 dreadnoughts were destroyed. But the Eternal Resolve was different. Why? Because this ship was not just a weapon. It was a library, a museum, a seed bank. The last captain of the Eternal Resolve, Captain Sarah Chen, convinced the government to hide it instead of destroying it. She said humanity might need it someday, not for war but for memory. The Guardian touched the cube and more images appeared. Marcus saw gardens inside a massive ship, libraries with millions of books, laboratories filled with equipment. The Eternal Resolve contains everything, the Guardian said. Art from old Earth, music, literature, seeds from 10,000 plant species, medical knowledge, engineering blueprints, everything humanity accomplished and everything humanity was before the war. Marcus understood now. It's not just a warship. No, it is humanity's legacy. The Guardian looked sad. Captain Chen died linking me, her consciousness, her memories, to the ship's core AI. I became the Guardian. The ship was hidden in a dimensional fold, a pocket outside normal space. Only a human with the command key could find it. The cube, Marcus said. Yes, there were 3 command keys made. I do not know what happened to the other 2. When you activated this one, you lit a beacon that cannot be hidden. Someone pounded on Marcus's shop door. Open! Station security! This is an emergency lockdown! Marcus jumped up. What do I do? You have 3 choices, the Guardian said quickly. First choice, give them the cube. You will be arrested, questioned, and probably killed by whoever wants the ship most. Second choice, destroy the cube. The ship stays hidden forever, and I shut down. Third choice, come to the ship. Come to the Eternal Resolve. How? Marcus asked. I don't have a ship. I can barely afford food. The Guardian smiled. The cube is not just a key. It is also a navigation beacon. Any ship with an FTL drive can follow its coordinates. You have a friend on this station who owns a shuttle, yes? Thomas Reeves, Docking Bay 17. Marcus was shocked. How do you know that? I accessed the station database when I activated. I know everything about Kepler-7 now. The door shook as someone hit it harder. You have 60 seconds to decide, Marcus Webb. Marcus grabbed his old jacket and the cube. His heart pounded. This was crazy. This was impossible. But what choice did he have? Tell me how to find your friend's shuttle, the Guardian said. Marcus ran to his back door, an emergency exit that led to the maintenance tunnels. Follow me, he said. The Guardian's holographic form shrank until it fit inside the cube. The blue light dimmed but did not go out. Marcus put the cube in his jacket pocket and ran. Behind him, he heard his shop door break open. Voices shouted. Heavy boots ran on metal floors. Marcus ran through the dark tunnels he knew well. He had lived on Kepler-7 for 5 years. He knew the shortcuts. He knew the forgotten paths. 10 minutes later, Marcus reached docking bay 17. He knocked on Tommy Reeves's shuttle door using their old code, 3 fast, 2 slow. Tommy opened the door. He was a short, round human with kind eyes. Marcus, what's wrong? The whole station is going crazy. They're looking for me, Marcus said. They're looking for me. Tommy, I need your shuttle. I need it right now. Tommy stared. Are you in trouble? Yes, big trouble. The biggest trouble. Marcus pulled out the cube. It glowed softly. But I also found something amazing. Something that belongs to all humans. I need to go get it before someone else does. Tommy looked at the cube. Then he looked at Marcus. Then he made a decision. Get in, Tommy said. I'm coming with you. No, Marcus said. This is too dangerous. Shut up and get in, Tommy said. You can't fly a shuttle alone. You failed the pilot test 3 times. Marcus wanted to argue, but Tommy was right. They got into the shuttle. Tommy started the engines. Station alarms screamed. Red lights flashed everywhere. Where are we going? Tommy asked. Marcus held up the cube. The Guardian's voice came from it, calm and clear. I will guide you, the Guardian said. Prepare for immediate departure. Security is locking down all docking bays. Tommy pushed the throttle forward. The shuttle shot out of the docking bay just as the magnetic locks activated. Behind them, 3 security ships began pursuit. Coordinates uploaded to your navigation system, the Guardian said. Jump to FTL in 30 seconds. Marcus watched through the window as Kepler-7 station grew smaller. Somewhere behind them, alien factions were preparing their own ships. Everyone wanted the eternal resolve. Hold on, Tommy said. This is going to be rough. The shuttle's FTL drive hummed. Reality bent. Space twisted. And they jumped into the unknown, following a signal 800 years old, toward a ship that legends said was destroyed. Marcus held the cube tight and hoped he had made the right choice. The shuttle shook violently. Tommy gripped the controls with white knuckles. Marcus held onto his seat, his stomach twisting as space bent around them. How long until we arrive? Tommy shouted over the noise of the engines. The Guardian's voice came from the cube, calm despite the chaos. 7 minutes. You are traveling through a region marked as hazardous on all modern star charts. No one comes here. Why not? Marcus asked. Spatial anomalies. Reality becomes unstable in this area. Ships that enter often disappear. The Guardian paused. That is what we told everyone 800 years ago. We created the anomalies ourselves to hide the ship. Tommy looked at Marcus with wide eyes. We're flying into a death zone. The cube will protect us, the Guardian said. I am broadcasting a safe passage signal. Trust me. Marcus wanted to feel confident, but his hands were shaking. Through the window, space looked wrong. Stars twisted into spirals. Colors that should not exist painted the darkness. Reality itself seemed broken. This is impossible, Tommy whispered. Physics doesn't work like this. Pre-expansion humanity understood dimensional science better than modern species do, the Guardian explained. Your ancestors could fold space, create pocket universes, bend time. Much of that knowledge was lost after the war. The shuttle dropped out of FTL suddenly. Warning alarms screamed. Every instrument on the control panel went crazy. "Where are we?" Marcus asked, looking out the window. At first, he saw nothing, just empty space and twisted stars. Then Tommy pointed. "There," Tommy said quietly. "Oh my God, there." Marcus saw it. His breath stopped. The Eternal Resolve floated in the darkness like a sleeping giant. The ship was enormous, bigger than any station Marcus had ever seen. It was at least 10 kilometers long, shaped like a sword pointing forward. The hull was dark metal that seemed to absorb light. Strange symbols glowed along its surface, pulsing slowly like a heartbeat. "It's beautiful," Marcus whispered. "It's terrifying," Tommy said. The Guardian's holographic form appeared between them, looking at his ship with pride and sadness. "Home. After so many centuries, someone has finally come home." Tommy flew the shuttle closer. As they approached, Marcus saw details. The ship's surface was covered in intricate designs, art and engineering combined. There were docking bays, weapons ports, shield generators, and things Marcus could not identify. Gardens pressed against transparent sections, filled with plants that somehow still lived after 800 years. "How is it still functional?" Marcus asked. "The ship maintains itself," the Guardian said. "Automated repair systems, power from dimensional taps that never run dry. I have kept everything ready, waiting for humans to return." They docked in a bay that opened automatically. The shuttle settled onto the landing platform with a soft hum. Outside, lights flickered on, revealing a massive hangar that could hold 100 ships. "It's empty," Tommy said. "Where is everyone?" "There is no one," the Guardian said. "I have been alone for 873 years, 4 months, and 17 days. Marcus and Tommy put on emergency environment suits, not knowing if the ship had air. But when they opened the shuttle door, the Guardian said, "You do not need those. Atmosphere is stable. Temperature is comfortable. The ship knows humans are here. It is happy." They stepped onto the Eternal Resolve cautiously. The floor was solid under their feet. The air smelled clean, with a hint of something Marcus could not identify. Old metal and growing plants, maybe. The Guardian walked ahead, his glowing form leading them through corridors. Everything was huge. The hallways were wide enough for 10 people to walk side by side. The ceilings were high. Every wall had art, paintings, sculptures, murals showing Earth landscapes that Marcus had only seen in pictures. "This was not just a warship," the Guardian said. "This was a city. 5,000 people lived here. Engineers, scientists, soldiers, artists, families. Children were born on this ship. People fell in love here. They lived entire lives between these walls." They passed through residential sections with apartments still furnished. Tommy stopped at one door and looked inside. A child's toy sat on a bed, a stuffed animal shaped like an earth bear. "What happened to them?" Tommy asked quietly. "When the war ended, everyone went home," the Guardian said. "Back to Earth, back to the colonies. They wanted normal lives again. They wanted to forget the war. Captain Chen was the last to leave. She stayed until the end, then gave herself to the ship. To me." They reached the bridge, the command center of the Eternal Resolve. It was a circular room with screens covering every wall. A captain's chair sat in the center, facing forward toward a massive window that showed the stars. Marcus walked to the chair but did not sit. It felt wrong, like sitting on a throne that belonged to someone else. "This is your ship now," the Guardian said. "You activated the command key. You are the captain." "I'm not a captain," Marcus said. "I'm a junk dealer. I don't know how to command a warship." "Neither did most of humanity when the war started," the Guardian said. "They learned. You can learn." Alarms suddenly blared. The Guardian's form snapped to attention. "Multiple ships dropping out of FTL," the Guardian announced. 15 vessels, more arriving every minute. They followed your shuttle's trail. On the screens, Marcus saw ships appearing. Different sizes, different shapes, different species. He recognized Vrexian warships, Cathrel destroyers, and ships from species he did not know. "They want the Eternal Resolve," Tommy said. "Of course they do," the Guardian said. "This ship is the most advanced piece of technology in this sector. Whoever controls it controls this region of space." Marcus felt panic rising. "Can we hide again? Go back into the dimensional fold?" "Not with this many ships watching. They would follow us." The Guardian looked at Marcus seriously. "You must make a choice now, Captain. Fight them, surrender the ship, or find another way." Marcus looked at the screens. More ships appeared every second. Some sent messages demanding surrender. Others powered up weapons. A few just watched and waited. "How many ships can the Eternal Resolve fight?" Marcus asked. "All of them," the Guardian said without hesitation. "The weapons on this ship could destroy every vessel out there in minutes, but that would mean killing thousands of people." Marcus sat in the captain's chair. It was too big for him. He felt like a child playing pretend. But he had to think. Everyone was watching, waiting for his decision. Tommy stood beside him. "What are you going to do?" Marcus looked at the ancient ship around him. He thought about Captain Chen, who had chosen to preserve knowledge instead of destroy it. He thought about humanity's history, how they had been nearly destroyed but survived by adapting, not by being the strongest. An idea formed in his mind. It was crazy. It might not work, but it felt right. "Guardian," Marcus said, "open a communication channel. Broadcast to every ship out there." "What are you going to say?" Tommy asked nervously. Marcus smiled, a small, uncertain smile. "Something no one expects." The Guardian activated the communications system. Marcus's voice would now reach every ship, every captain, every faction. "This is Marcus Webb," he said, his voice steadier than he felt. "I'm speaking from the Eternal Resolve. You all came here for this ship. You all want its power, its technology, its weapons. I understand. But I have a different proposal." He paused, gathering courage. "This ship doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to any government or military. It belongs to history. It belongs to everyone who wants to learn from the past." On the screens, some ships began charging weapons. Others held position, listening. Marcus continued. "I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to run. Instead, I'm inviting you." The Guardian turned sharply. "What?" "I'm turning the Eternal Resolve into neutral ground," Marcus said. "A place where any species can come to learn, study, and share knowledge. The libraries here belong to everyone. The technology can be researched by anyone, peacefully." Silence filled the communication channel. Then a Vrexian voice responded. "And if we refuse? If we simply take the ship by force?" Marcus looked at the Guardian. "Can you show them what this ship can do, without hurting anyone?" The Guardian smiled, a real smile this time. "Yes, Captain. I can do that." "Then let's show them," Marcus said. The Guardian moved to the control panel. His glowing hands touched buttons and screens. The Eternal Resolve hummed with power, a deep sound that Marcus felt in his bones. "All ships, this is a demonstration," the Guardian announced. "Do not be alarmed. No weapons will be fired." Outside, the assembled fleet watched. 15 ships had become 30. More arrived every minute. Treasure hunters, military vessels, research ships. Everyone wanted to see what would happen. The Eternal Resolve began to glow. Blue light ran along its hull like electric rivers. The symbols on its surface burned brighter. Then the impossible happened. The ship split into 7 copies of itself. Marcus gasped. On every screen, he saw 7 identical Eternal Resolve warships, each one solid and real. They appeared in different positions around the fleet, surrounding everyone. "Hologram?" Tommy whispered. "No," the Guardian said. "Quantum resonance projection. Each copy exists in a slightly different dimensional phase. They are all real. They are all here. But also not here. Pre-expansion science." A Threll captain's voice crackled over the communication channel. "This is impossible." "This is merely defensive technology," the Guardian said calmly. "Now observe." The 7 ships moved together, performing a dance through space. They phased through each other like ghosts. They appeared and disappeared. Reality bent around them. Then the Guardian showed the shields. Energy barriers formed around the Eternal Resolve, layers upon layers of shimmering light. The shields created a sphere that pushed outward, gently moving nearby ships backward without damaging them. "Temporal distortion field, activating," the Guardian announced. The space around 3 Vrexian ships began to shimmer. Time itself slowed for those vessels. Marcus watched on the screens as the Vrexian ships moved in extreme slow motion. A ship that was turning took 5 minutes to complete a movement that should take 5 seconds. "Stop! Stop!" the Vrexian commander shouted. "We understand!" The Guardian released them. Time returned to normal. The 7 copies of the Eternal Resolve merged back into one ship. "This is what pre-expansion humanity built," Marcus said into the communication channel. "This ship could destroy all of you. It could phase through your shields, freeze you in time, and fire weapons you cannot defend against. But do you know what humanity chose to do with this power?" He paused, letting his words sink in. "They chose peace. They chose to hide this ship rather than use it for conquest. The people who built this ship wanted future generations to remember what they learned, not how many enemies they destroyed." More ships arrived. Marcus counted 50 vessels now. Some were small explorer ships. Others were massive warships. All of them watching. All of them listening. "I am not a warrior," Marcus continued. "I am not a politician. I am just a man who found something that belongs to all of us. To everyone who wants to learn and grow. So I am offering something new. This ship becomes neutral ground, a place of research and knowledge. Anyone can send scholars here, anyone can study the libraries and technology, but no weapons, no fighting. No stealing." A new voice cut through the channel. It was cold and hard. "Ridiculous human nonsense." On the screens, a new ship appeared. It was huge, bigger than most warships Marcus had seen. Black and red metal, weapons covering every surface. The design was aggressive and cruel. "Jarak's Dominion vessel," the Guardian said quietly. "They were part of the original Combine Alliance. They never forgave humanity for surviving." The Jarak's commander spoke. "I am War Chief Krejan. The Eternal Resolve is a weapon of mass destruction. It cannot be allowed to exist. Surrender the ship immediately, or we will destroy it and everyone on board." Marcus felt his mouth go dry. Tommy gripped his shoulder. "Guardian, how powerful are they?" Marcus asked quietly. "Moderately powerful. They have 30 heavy weapons on that ship. In a direct fight, the Eternal Resolve would win easily." But they are not alone. Jarak's ships travel in battle groups. Scanning now. The Guardian's form flickered. "Confirmed. 6 more Jarak's warships are arriving. They are forming an attack formation." On the screens, Marcus saw the Jarak's ships positioning themselves. They surrounded the Eternal Resolve, cutting off escape routes. Other ships in the area began moving away. No one wanted to be caught in a battle. "Human, you have 1 minute to decide," War Chief Krejan said. "Surrender or die." Marcus stood up. His legs felt weak, but he forced himself to walk to the front of the bridge. He looked out the massive window at the Jarak's ships. Their weapons were glowing, charging with power. "Guardian, If they attack, can you destroy them without killing the crews? The Guardian looked surprised. You want to disable them, not destroy them? Yes. Can you do it? It is possible. I can target their power cores, weapons systems and engines, precision strikes. But it is difficult with 7 ships. Some casualties are likely. Marcus shook his head. No. If we fight back and kill them, we become what they think we are, a weapon. We prove them right. Tommy walked over. Marcus, they are going to kill us. You need to defend the ship. There has to be another way, Marcus said desperately. 30 seconds, War Chief Krejan announced. I will enjoy destroying the last human warship. Marcus thought frantically. The Guardian had showed the fleet what the ship could do. The shields, the time distortion, the quantum phasing. And then Marcus had an idea. Guardian, can you freeze all 7 Jarax ships in time? Like you did with the Vrexian ships earlier? Yes, but maintaining a temporal field around 7 large vessels requires enormous power. I could hold them for approximately 10 minutes before the ship's energy reserves deplete to dangerous levels. 10 minutes is enough, Marcus said. He turned to the communication channel. War Chief Krejan, I have a counteroffer. There are no counteroffers, Krejan growled. You want to destroy this ship because you think it is a weapon, Marcus said. You think I will use it to hurt people, so I am going to prove you wrong. Guardian, freeze them. The eternal resolve pulsed with power. Blue energy shot from the ship, wrapping around all 7 Jarax warships. Time stopped for them. Their weapons, glowing with charge, froze mid-power up. Their ships hung motionless in space like insects trapped in amber. Every other ship in the area watched in stunned silence. Marcus spoke clearly into the communication channel. War Chief Krejan can hear me, but he cannot move. His ships cannot fire. I could keep them frozen forever. I could let them drift in space until their crews starve. I could do many terrible things. He paused. But I will not. In exactly 10 minutes, I will release them. They will be free to leave or free to stay and talk, because that is what this ship represents. Not power through violence, but power through choice. Marcus turned to address all the ships. Everyone here has a choice, too. You can stay and help build something new, a place where all species share knowledge, or you can leave, or you can attack, and I will defend this ship without killing you. That is the human way. We adapt, we survive, and we do not become monsters, even when facing monsters. A Vrexian voice spoke up. This is Captain Vex of the research vessel Curiosity. I wish to accept your offer. My crew would be honored to study pre-expansion technology in exchange for sharing Vrexian medical knowledge. Another voice joined in. This is Scholar Prime Thalin of the Kathrel Collective. We also accept. The knowledge in your libraries could benefit many species. More voices spoke up. Not everyone, but enough. Marcus counted at least 12 ships agreeing to his proposal. The Guardian monitored the time. 7 minutes remaining on the temporal field. Marcus sat back in the captain's chair. He was exhausted. His whole body shook with adrenaline. But he had done it. Maybe. Tommy sat beside him. That was either the bravest thing I have ever seen, or the craziest. Probably both, Marcus said with a weak laugh. On the screens, the frozen Jarax ships hung in space, trapped in time. In a few minutes, Marcus would have his answer. Would War Chief Krejan accept peace, or would the battle begin? The eternal resolve hummed around them, waiting.